Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Brian Edward Hill, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
What? What is this music? That's right, kids. Welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales featuring some X-Men.
That's right.
This time X-Men 20 through 22. And again, these are 90s issues, so this music really is
That's appropriate, absolutely.
Exactly. Anyway, I am Phil, and joining me, as always, Al Locke himself. It is.
That's right. Getting the psionic blades out to talk about my girl Betsy ×2.
Yes, that's right. We're doing more Psylocke. I'm like, maybe we should just did a whole month of Psylocke.
Well, we've basically done a month, I think, total.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could have at least done it like an X-Men month or something. Well.
We have that in the planning for next year. For
sure. Yeah, we have some X-Men.
Yeah.
Stuff. All right, so yes, again, this is a Justin pick, X-Men 20 through 22.
Yes, revealing more of the mystery that we talked about last time. We had just witnessed the metamorphosis of Betsy Braddock into a new form. And years later, we finally get the mystery addressed again.
Mm-hmm. Things may not be what they appeared to be. But I figured, since we're talking X-Men here, well, first you said, isn't that X-Men, was it X-Men 97 series coming soon?
The animated series,
yeah. I figured I'd look this up. Do they not have it? I guess there's not a confirmed release date, but what I'm looking at here saying maybe between September and November.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, I thought if they were that close, they would have announced the date already.
I had an idea that it might be ready to.
Oh wait, no. This is saying it might have been moved from this fall to January, so it might not be
okay.
right now.
Well, that would be okay too. It'd be nice to have something to watch during the winter months.
Yeah, especially if the strike is going. Even if they resolve it soon, there might not be any new content in January. So
that's true. I mean, this is going to slow down the production of a lot of things for a while. That we don't even realize how many months of delay this is going to cause for a lot of things.
Like Lilith Hellfire was saying, just get ready for a lot of reality TV coming up here.
Yeah.
Hope you TV, because that's what you're getting for a while.
I saw an ad today for a new one that's absolutely horrifying. It's called House of Villains, and it's all of these despicable people, like the worst people from all of these different reality shows, thrust into a house together. It's going to be a train wreck from hell.
There's one I heard about, but I don't know if Lil saw like an actual episode or the advertising, but she's like, the worst one ever is MILF Manor.
MILF Manor.
Did you ever hear that?
No.
It's basically like these mothers go on TV and basically like the sons, I don't know how old the sons are, maybe are they in their like late teens, early 20s, but it's like,
oh no,
and then no, I think the sons are in their 20s, but it's like the mothers like date their sons' friends or something. It's messed up. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett vibes. No. No. That's terrible. No.
Get her name out of your mouth.
Hey, Will, if you ever want to go mano a mano, I'm right here.
You say, you like that joke? That joke slaps, don't it? Anyway.
Anyway.
Oh, I know what I was. I wanted to ask you for many things, but do you still do you get your comics like on a weekly basis still, or how
no, I kind of I fall behind a little bit, and then I kind of binge them. Like I'll usually get like the physical ones. I'll get like a handful of them every month. When I remember to when I remember to order them. I usually always forget about the release dates. But the digital ones I'm good at, like the new Hulk issues, the new
Oh,
Predator stuff. I usually get those pretty much the week that they're released. I'll try to read them within a few days of their release date on digital. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just a mini series, but the new Alpha Flight #1 came out this week.
Ooh, really? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Ed Brisson. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Ooh, I will be reading that. I didn't realize it was out already. That's fantastic. See, that's the thing. I always fall behind on what all the new stuff that's coming out,
Mhm.
and then I'm usually like way behind by the time it's halfway into the series.
I know. That's like our friend Will. He orders his stuff from somewhere, and they send him a box of like everything for that month, like one, at the end of every month. I'm like, man, I'd be so far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to read weekly, or else I'll fall behind.
Yeah. I should start doing that. Should start making myself a little schedule, a reminder schedule for release dates.
Yep. All right. I'm trying to think if there's any other X news. Yeah, lots of yeah. Hellfire Gala went wrong this year. Blah blah blah.
Ooh, yeah, I heard about that mess.
Mhm.
Tony Stark and Emma Frost getting married and all that.
Oh, that ain't even happened yet, but it's coming. Dark X-Men #1 came out this week too.
Did you read that?
With the team basically gone. Yeah, Madeline Pryor's basically putting a team together. Basically, Havoc and Archangel are basically on a team with villains.
Oh, interesting. Havoc and Madeline Pryor on a team together? That's not going to end well.
Oh, it ends in a hot tub, buddy. That's all I'll tell you.
Oh, where's Polaris? Is not around anymore?
She was around. She was on one of the last X-Men teams, but I guess they're not a thing. I guess they're not.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. I know.
I always like them as a couple. They've always got to mess with the good couples. It makes me irritated.
I know. Instead, he has to be banging his brother's ex-wife.
Yeah, right. So much wrong with that.
I know. That's what. Yeah, we got to cover some of that early Peter David X Factor.
Yes. Yeah, I think we've got that on the schedule for next year, don't we? Yeah, a little bit.
That's another one we might get Ray for because I know he likes that.
Yes, definitely.
Which stay tuned, kids.
Yeah.
Barring some unforeseen circumstances, yes, Ray, the high priest of Conchu and Sausage, Ray should be with us next episode. So,
yes, to talk about Silver Sable and the Wild Pack.
Yeah, let's get him talking Marvel for once.
Batman, my favorite character.
And a different female superhero other than Spider-Woman. It will be
yes,
yeah.
I know what I should watch. I should sparingly use that button because now Ray has told us even his son is mocking his love of Batman. So. So be nice to me, Ray, or I'll trick my daughter too. Uncle Phil told me to give me candy to say, Batman, you love the Batman. I want to kiss the Batman.
Into the Dark Knight.
All to do with Batman.
Into the Dark Knight. All to do with Batman.
I love Batman.
Don't lie, right? All right. Should we get to these X-Men issues?
Yes. Number 20.
I feel like I was rambling there. All right. Yeah, number 20. Oh, here we go. I was gonna say sometimes Marvel, sometimes your app doesn't make it the easiest to find stuff.
Yeah. Especially X-Men related stuff and Spider-Man related stuff.
I mean, it kind of worked. I had to scroll a little here, but it's like if I punch in X-Men 20, it should give me every X-Men 20, you know?
Yeah. I try to put in the year too.
Oh, yeah.
Helps narrow it down a little bit.
Or if you at least put the series in the air, something, you can at least
Mhm.
pull up the series. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll get in the ballpark anyway, so you don't have to scroll forever.
exactly. All right, I'll do the credits, then we can talk about this because yes, no synopsis for these.
I thought that was strange too. No synopses for any of these.
I know, it's like fuck, these were popular. All right,
Yeah.
X-Men number 20 from May 1993, Digging in the Dirt. Writer Fabian Nicieza, penciler Andy Kubert, inkers Mark Pennington and Bob Wycheck, colorist Joe Roses, letterer Bill Oakley, and editor Bob Harris. All right, so what do we have? I love this cover. This is like one of my favorite covers. Yeah,
the cover is so good, and
yeah.
they recently used this cover on an Epic collection that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think last month, which collects a bunch of the issues in this run.
Mm-hmm. So basically, yeah, we have change of pace. Xavier kind of brooding.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's got a great moment here with Jubilee. I really like this, this introduction where it's just the two of them together. I like that. You don't get to see that a lot in the X comics, just Professor X and Jubilee together.
Yep, her skating around the mansion.
Yeah, constantly chewing bubble gum.
But basically, Xavier thinking about the when the X-Men just went to Siberia, so of course Omega Red.
Yeah.
Is this when Colossus and Ileana lose their parents? Is that what they were saying?
I think so. Yeah. 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 She was turned into a child again.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's taking care of her. That's when Betsy comes in looking va-va-voom.
Oh yeah, that painted on dress. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! That must have set some eyes on fire in 1992 or 3.
Yes, eyes.
Friction burns.
Oh! Look, good Lord. What was I? I was 15. Yeah, that could probably track.
Yeah, well, she's a good-looking woman, and she puts the moves on Cyclops. Now, when I read this for the first time, I was so surprised by this because there wasn't really, if I remember right, there wasn't much of a lead up to this in the issues before this, right? Like they hadn't been flirting or like.
I don't think so, because I remember reading this. I'm trying to remember. I might not have read like a few of the ones leading up to this, but I was like, yeah, it caught me by surprise too. I was like, I don't think I remember reading anything about
Yeah. Yeah. And there weren't like any subtle like little glances or little remarks that they made to one another in the previous issues that I remember. Maybe I'm wrong because it's been a while since I've read them. But rereading this, it still surprised me. I was like, wow, she just went for it.
And yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, because he's working on the Blackbird. She comes in that dress, like he kind of falls into her, and they're both on the ground. Okay, I know this is supposed to be kind of like sexy, but I'm just like, okay, so she is that you would think whatever that is on his face, isn't that it's probably like oil or some kind of it's some kind of fluid from the plane, right?
Well, I took it to be blood, like when
again, it's like, but she's licking whatever it is off his face. I'm like, okay,
I know, yeah, because
blood. Okay,
it's almost like he like hit his nose or cut his cheek because it almost looks like there's a cut on his cheek for a second there, like a.
Oh yeah, it is 90s comics. All blood is black. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. It's like it almost looks like a slash.
Either way, she's not a vampire. Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing, Betsy? That's nasty. That's gross.
So it's either fluids from a plane or fluids from a human being.
Either way, that's pretty nasty.
So yeah, she licks whatever it is off his cheek, and then it's just like, lays one on him.
Lays one on him. And he pushes her away, and then immediately Jean comes in and he freaks right out, especially when and Jean also sees Betsy. There's a little bit of a cold moment between the two of them.
Oh yeah, because Scott kind of cancels lunch. Yeah, Jean sees Psylocke in that dress and just
and she runs away. Yeah, it was so strange. The first time I read this, it took me kind of off guard. I was like, "What's going on here? Where did this dynamic come from all of a sudden? Like this romantic stuff, entanglement stuff. What is?
They've been playing her weird ever since those issues we did last time where it's she's been transformed physically, and they're just like, oh, is she the same Psylocke? Is there anything there's like a darker side to her or something? It's
right.
They keep playing it up.
In a lot of the stories since then, like there had been a lot of these big multi-part epics that had taken place. So the mystery of what happened to her kind of got pushed back to the back burner and kind of gotten forgotten about.
Oh yeah, since then there's been so much stuff. That whole Mirror Island thing, the original X-Men returning to the team, and now we pretty much have 2 teams of X-Men.
Yeah.
Remember the days we only had 2 teams of X-Men, kids?
The blue and the gold team.
Right.
Yeah.
But then Jubilee's outside looking for Wolverine. She goes, "What are you doing thinking?" as he's like stabbing a tree.
Yeah, slashing up a tree. And then this is one of my favorite parts of the issue. He starts to send somebody out there, and he goes, "I thought I smelled something funny, but it was just Betsy." And then there's that figure standing over by the tree in the shadows in a cloak.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, he says it smelled like Betsy. And I love Jubilee out here in that I Want Sex outfit she was wearing. Doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it would be a little cold for that. You can see their breath in the air.
Yeah, because even to get the subtleties of this story so far, Jubilee lays it out for you. Yeah, she's looking for that. I'm looking for something dressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then back to Jean, who basically passes the danger room where the Beast and Gambit are working out. I love it, like these in like the text boxes where they're like once they used to hone their abilities here, now they don't even need that, so they just use it for fun.
A chance to play games. What's wrong with that?
I know, but I'm like, can't you always use practice? I don't know.
Well, sure, yeah. She has a conversation with Rogue and Storm. I guess Rogue had suffered some retinal damage from the previous battle. Was it with Omega Red?
I can't remember. It probably was.
I can't remember who the previous nemesis was in the story.
And of course, again, we're all playing with the whole Gambit wants her, but they can't touch. Just.
Yeah, this was when their romance was kind of in its beginning stages. Yeah.
And again, Gambit's like the new Wolverine. He's like, the mysterious background. Nobody really knows where he comes from.
Yes,
for the most part. Yeah.
The enigma. Yeah, with a dark past. Yeah. And Scott is brooding in his bedroom over some photographs.
He's packing a suitcase.
And he's getting ready to go visit his grandparents in Alaska.
Yep. And then he's like ready to leave the mansion, and Storm's like, "Oh," she's like, "Don't run away from your problems."
I like this when she says, "The decisions I delayed, the feelings I ignored. I lost Forge, Scott. I do not want to see you build the same fortress of solitude I have." That was a good line.
Oh yeah. I mean, she likes Forge more than Ray does.
Intimately, you could say.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird though when it. I mean, I guess love is complicated, but I'm always like, how did Storm like ever like fall for Forge after like he took her powers and I mean, it was kind of
Oh, I know.
accidental.
Yeah.
Going after Rogue, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
imagine someone like blinded you and like eventually got your sight back. But would you be? I mean, could you like fall in love with this person?
It'd be pretty challenging. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And I always found that strange too. Yeah.
Well, Marvel's mutants, their greatest superpower is drama. So
Absolutely. Their greatest superpower and their greatest weakness all at the same time.
And just looking at this story, like, I guess it's just the artist, but like, I think any adult woman in this story could wear that Psylocke dress and get it, get away with it.
Totally. Yeah. They all had the toothpick waists here. Storm, Jean, like
Storm coming down them steps looks like she's gonna take an eye out,
Yeah, out of the two Kubert brothers, Andy's his style was a little bit more divergent from his dad's,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember right. Or is this Adam?
Oh wait, this wasn't this at? Let me see. Andy.
Maybe I'm getting that reversed then, but there's one of the two that their style is a lot more similar to their dad's, Joe Kubert.
Yeah.
I can't remember which of the two it is, but
I mean, I know it's 1993, but this is looking more like the Playboy Mansion than the X Mansion.
Yeah. Especially with Psylocke's dress, with Betsy's dress, that's still amazing. Yeah.
I know it seems so weird because then you see her in uniform, and all, with all the skin it shows. I don't think it's much more revealing than that dress was.
And it looks like it's the same material as the dress.
Seriously, yeah. Except now you can see more leg and stuff. Yeah, and her shoulders. But yeah,
and then Jean comes in to have a heart-to-heart with Betsy, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, after Scott walks out, yeah.
And it doesn't end well.
Well, she asked her, "Are you and Scott having an affair?" He's like, "No." But I don't know. I don't know if she put. I want him to run his fingers through my hair. I want to feel his back tense beneath my fingertips. I want to see him smile for a change. Oh, she goes, "I'm not having an affair." Have you telepathically manipulated his mind? Jean says.
Don't turn your back on me, Betsy. Answer me. And then that's when Betsy gets mad. Why don't you just see for yourself? And she gives Jean the Psyblade treatment.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Jean goes, are you telepathically manipulating him? Betsy should have been like, "Oh, I don't know. Are you?"
Learned it by watching you.
Pretty much. But then, so she puts Jean down. But then, yes, a mysterious figure shows up dressed in Psylocke's old costume.
Yep, the old armor.
But
which she thinks is a manipulation, like a telepathic manipulation by Jean at first.
Or it's just a hologram because they are in the danger room, yeah.
Right, yeah. But then the figure says, "And you would have thought right, Quanon, considering she is not responsible for my presence here. You are!"
Actually creates a psychic katana blade.
Yeah. Yep.
Betsy's like, "Who are you? I am the one thing you have feared most since first awakening to see the world through new eyes. I am the truth." I guess this is like a psychic illusion because it looks like she cuts Betsy's head off.
and she makes this great noise. She goes, "A warg." and then you get the great I love Fabian's sound effects in all of his stuff. They're always great. This one, when her head gets kind of psionically lopped off, it's chash. Chash. It's so good.
I know that is a cool effect because it's like it looks like, yes, her head has come off and it just looks like it's flaming where it
Yeah.
cut off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So yeah, Betsy's down, and then Professor X comes in with Wolverine, Jubilee, Storm, and Rogue.
Yep.
Mm.
And that's when the big reveal happens. They confront her, and she says, one, I did not attack any of you, only Quanon.
Mhm.
Two, I only wear the armor of Betsy Braddock because I am Betsy Braddock. This woman is and always has been an imposter.
I love in the middle of the revelation, Xavier's just going, no. Sully goes meta commentary, no.
And Jean has recovered from, or
Mm.
is slowly recovering from the KO that she received.
Just the faces. Jean's holding her head. Rogue's going
Yeah.
with her hands over her mouth, and then Storm's basically like,
And Jubilee, yeah. So good. That's a great little cliffhanger ending. Yeah.
Yes, I love the title for the next one. Who's been sleeping in my head?
It's so good, right?
Oh,
What
yeah.
did you think of this one, Phil?
Oh, I like this. I mean, I liked it ever since I first read it. I was just like, oh, well, there's how you do a cliffhanger.
Yeah, definitely.
And they finally, like, it looks like they're about to pay off. Oh, hey, we keep mentioning all this mysterious crap, and is Betsy still the same Betsy? Ever since she's been transformed, and it's like, wow, you don't know the half of it, kids.
Yeah, we finally get some payoff for these years of wondering what happened.
I mean, Fabian is always usually a good storyteller, so
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and he doesn't like to leave those plot threads dangling unresolved for too long. I noticed that too with New Warriors. He would always have these subplots going, but he wouldn't let them go on for too long before they would get addressed and fleshed out.
Yeah, he's not Claremont, who's like, yeah, I'll get to it in this decade.
Sometime. And God bless him, Mark Grunwald did that too. He had so many subplots and just unresolved and dangling stuff going on.
I know, but it's like it's so surprising how long it took Claremont to get this stuff, considering how many words he put on a page. You would think a plot never couldn't get past 3 issues the way the words you put in a book. I mean, I swear, him and sometimes Byrne, it's like, characters are like trying to look around the word bubble. It's like, hey, I'm over here.
This is a comic book, not a book, remember? Yeah. There's pictures too.
Oh, that needs to be a joke. Somebody who can break the fourth wall like Deadpool or She-Hulk needs to be like, all these word bubbles. What is this, a Claremont?
Doug mentioned that too a lot. I remember in some early issues of Moon Knight, there'd just be a whole bunch of word bubbles, a little teeny tiny Moon Knight in the corner.
Man, it hurts to run into these word bubbles. I need to take one for the team and jump to a Bendis book. Bendis. And I can keep my head completely still and just mutter the same 5 words for a whole page. You heard what I said. What did you say? You said you heard what I said. Did you really say that? Bendis.
A little light reading.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want something for 5 minutes and under, yeah. Artist, draw one head and then photocopy it to the rest of the page.
Yeah, right.
Bendis.
Saves time and money.
And if he ever sees this, Bendis is like, son of a... What, they're on the Miller now. So Frank Miller was the new target now.
Don't worry, next month it'll be somebody different.
Oh, Daredevil #1, the new Daredevil #1 comes out next month, and it's one of those new Frank Miller covers.
Oh, have we seen it yet?
Yeah, I mean it's not bad compared to like that Wolverine and some of the other
Yeah.
ones. It's not as bad as that, but
Okay. Oh, that's good. The Wolverine one is so bad. Oh,
all right, kids. All right, any other thoughts on 20, Justin? Or should we get to 20?
no, like I said, when I read this the first time, I was very surprised at
Oh
all the
yeah.
stuff that happened here. I loved it, and I was hooked. I wanted to know what happened next.
And again, the people taking over after Claremont were like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna tie stuff up. Wow."
Yes, we're gonna address some of these mysteries, and we're gonna well, they didn't actually resolve it, but they at least fleshed it out some more.
Yeah, again, it's we'll have to come back to this because later on they'll start putting more stuff to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 21, we get a new penciler. Is that a new artist or a new inker too? Yeah, 21, the puzzle box. It's still Fabian, but the penciler is Brandon Peterson and inker's Dan Panosian.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it wasn't like a huge shift in the art style, but yeah, you can tell it's a different artist.
Yeah, you can tell it's different, but it's a similar style actually. There's a good continuity here.
Yeah, it's not like we went from an Andy Kubert to like a Frank Miller or something,
right? Or a Gene Colan or a
yeah.
So totally different style. Yeah.
So we open this one up. Wolverine has like Betsy basically pinned to the wall. You basically give her the whole, "Oh, here's my 2 claws. You want the middle finger?"
Yeah, and she is not happy about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm. You've been accused of being an agent for a Japanese underworld crime lord named Nyorin and a traitor.
Mm.
But yeah, so Psylocke's like, "No, if anyone should be questioned, it should be her." And Quinan's like, "I am Betsy Braddock, and soul and most obviously in flesh. The X-Men believe me and appear to have significant reason to doubt you."
Mm. And Storm makes a good comment here. She said, Professor Xavier, could not a simple telepathic scan disprove the claims of one or the other? And he says, would that it were that so simple, Aurora. There are no surface side differences, or else Jean or I would have noticed them. To find out the truth, we would have to dig far deeper into their minds, and I'm loath to do so, especially in a mind as sensitive as Psylocke's.
Mm-hmm. And the one in the armor's like, I've never met you before, but you can, give me the probe. And Betsy's like, well played, but I'm not letting you violate my mind.
Yeah, she goes, I've suffered too many indignities at the hands of others. First, Slaymaster, the guy that ripped her eyes out. Then Mojo, who we talked about a few episodes back in the New Mutants annual. And after emerging from the Siege Perilous, I was shredded body and soul by Metsuo Tsurayaba, who we talked about in the last episode.
Yep.
So you can understand why she doesn't want to volunteer to that procedure.
Yeah, that's why she said she won't let anybody rip through her mind again or violate herself. And Jean's like, is that why you've adopted such an aggressive attitude with these are your telepathic powers? Never a victim, always a victor, Jean. That's why I also chose to strike at you when you accused me of having an affair with Cyclops.
And then Revanche attacks her.
Oh yeah, they're about to go at it again.
They're about to go at it again. Yeah.
And then Wolverine's like, Chuck, let's go talk in the hall.
Yeah.
He's chomping down on that stogie.
The stogie. This is back when he's wearing the tank tops too. He's not doing the costumes at all. He said, to hell with it.
And Wolverine's like, neither of them is lying, Chuck. Neither of them's telling the truth.
Yeah, their scents are the same and different from Betsy Braddock's before she went through the Siege Perilous.
And he's saying, scents are the same and different from Betsy before. Now, And just now, when Psylocke prepared a offensive counter move, Betsy Braddock set up a pretty smooth ground the sky draw, standard ninjutsu defense. And Xavier's like, yeah, the Betsy before she went through had no ninja discipline. And you did not teach her such techniques.
Yeah. And he says, indeed, if we have to go back to the source, we have to find this Jigoku crime lord, Niorin. In order to do that, we have to journey to Japan.
And then meanwhile, Scott's back in Alaska, meets up with his grandparents.
Yeah, when I first read this, I said, "Oh, this isn't going to end well." Any member of the Summers family is doomed to a pretty awful fate whenever they appear in an X-Men book.
Yeah, and he has to tell his grandparents about what happened to Madeline Pryor and their son. So,
pretty heavy stuff.
Especially he doesn't even know the full truth yet. So yeah, that's
right.
But, yeah. And then
we get another subplot.
Against Seattle, Mesmero has been thrown out a window by the Dark Riders.
Mesmero in a business suit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dark Riders, Foxbat, the diminutive Synapse, Tusk, Gauntlet, and Barrage.
90s names.
90s. Gotta love it. Former disciples of Apocalypse who have carried on his twisted goals of culling the weak from the strong of mutant kind.
But Synapse looks Mesmero in the eye, so he's hypnotized. So, now
it looks like they kill Mesmero, but they obviously don't, right? I mean, he comes back after
I
this.
think again, it's comics, but yeah, because Gauntlet shoots him off the building.
Yeah, but I could have sworn that he's appeared a bunch of times since then. However, because the diminutive Synapse was taken over by Mesmero, they view him as unworthy of the tomorrow glory.
Yes, and he's coughing and hacking, so Gauntlet shoots him too.
Yeah. Synapse, you have just been tested, and you are not fit to survive.
Then we go to Tokyo.
Now, when I first saw Lord Niorin, he looks exactly like the Mandarin from
in that story. Yeah,
and I wondered if they created him to be that, to fill that role, where they couldn't use the Mandarin because he was indisposed with other stuff. I think at this time he was fighting with Iron Man in China or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was either right before or right after, wasn't it? Yeah, I can't remember.
He had Fin Fang Foom in his thrall and all this stuff.
Yeah,
it was right around that time period. So he's like wearing almost the exact same outfit, this Lord Niorin guy. So I wondered if that was their intent for creating this character.
Maybe, yeah, because like you say, he looks exactly like Mandarin looked in that story. So maybe they just changed the name or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then we get Shinobi, Sebastian Shaw's kid.
Yeah, who at this time Sebastian Shaw was also thought to be dead, killed by Shinobi, his son.
Basically, just sitting around in a towel.
Yeah, with a bunch of women in bikinis hanging around.
Okay, massage. Okay.
With a happy ending.
Oh.
And because it's the 90s, everybody's smoking. Everybody's smoking cigarettes.
Just all this. You need to regain control of your prime assassin, Quinen.
Yeah.
And I want the X-Men killed. Any or all, the more the merrier. But yeah, Shinobi's like, do this for me, and I will second your petition to reinstate Clan Yoshida.
Clan Yoshida, who we talked about during the Wolverine story.
Yep. But then we see, yes, some of the X-Men have made it to Japan.
Yes.
And I love how we quickly have to explain why Wolverine isn't one of them. Since he has so much experience in Japan, but too many bad memories.
Yeah. He's not ready to go back yet.
I love for the first time they're showing restraint in the 90s, not putting Wolverine in a story, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you would have thought he would have been front and center in all of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Quine and Psylocke and Gambit and Beast.
This is a good team, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But why wouldn't they all go? Or more of them?
I know, yeah.
Or Storm, you know, or
Storm, or yeah.
Or Jean. So, you know.
Maybe they figured 2 telepaths was enough.
I guess. Although, who knows if you can trust one of them.
I know, yeah. Or both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess they wanted the rest of them to be like backup reinforcements in case it went south. But they do pretty well against the Assassins of the Hand.
Yeah.
The elite defense cadre.
Yeah, they break in, and Quinen says she's familiar because she was held prisoner here for months. Gambit says, oh, they fight similar, like mirror images.
Yeah. Imagine that.
They bring in this room, and there's Quinen in up there, or looks like Betsy now in that picture.
Yeah, and a painted portrait on the wall, holding some katana blades, looking very deadly.
Quinen in repose.
Quite a masterful piece of art. The technique is quite impressive.
So if you look on like page 20, doesn't Shinobi and Matsuo look very similar? Similar.
Yeah, they really do. They almost look like exactly the same person.
Like Matsuo's got a scar, but besides that, they can almost maybe it's just the same hair because they got that. Talk about mullets. I mean, look at the mullets on these.
90s mullets in full effect on both of these guys.
Not only in the back, but it's going up too.
Yeah. I guess they're like, oh, well, we only know one way to draw Japanese guys in the 90s.
Give them some rocker mullets.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, you're right. They look almost exactly identical. I guess the difference is one has powers and one doesn't. So that's how you distinguish them from each other. And like you said, the scar.
But yeah, that page, they look so much alike.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the X-Men are still basically standing around arguing, and then who shows up at the end, Justin?
Yes, the Silver Samurai.
That's right.
He says, X-Men, I have been given the opportunity to regain the place of honor lost to the clan Yoshida. Unfortunately, in order to accomplish this goal, the Silver Samurai must kill you all. It's so good. It's a great little another great cliffhanger ending.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because the beast gets cut down right from behind. And at first you think it's going to be another one of the Hands people. You know, just another one of these assassin type of people. But then, ooh, no, it's the Silver Samurai. Okay. Things just got even crazier.
Have a problem with this death trap? Talk to the Hand. That's right, kids. I'm not right. All right. Is this why we didn't send Wolverine? So everyone to be like, oh, this is like round 20 of like Wolverine versus Silver Samurai.
Oh yeah, and that would have been played out. Yeah.
So yeah, and any other further thoughts on this one? It's
No, I really liked this. Yeah, like you said, it's strange how they only sent 4 of them over to Japan. I still kind of wonder why that is, but it's okay. It worked for the story.
I mean, Hank McCoy is an original member, and I mean, he's he's skilled enough to be a leader. But I'm like, why wouldn't you send Storm or somebody? You know, like,
right?
Who is a leader?
Yeah, right. Although I guess technically she was part of the other team.
Yeah, but
so she was like moonlighting over.
Yeah, but with Cyclops like on vacation or whatever, I'm pretty sure Storm's beating everybody. You know,
that's true. Yeah.
Or send more. You know, the gold team.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that would have been interesting to see. Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? Maybe the blue team's kind of conflicted. They've been fighting alongside this woman for the whole time, so maybe we send the gold team.
Yeah.
Although I think by this point we're starting to like muddy the waters, like who's on what team, because we're pretty much just like, people can jump from book to book, and
right. That is true. Yeah. Especially when it gets into the big crossovers and it completely becomes blurred. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then it's totally done by the time we hit Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah, they pretty much dissolved it after that, which is too bad because I kind of liked the blue and the gold thing, to be honest with you, for a while. I thought it was cool. It was kind of like the Avengers East and West Coast a little bit.
Oh, that would have been interesting if they would have had like a separate base of operations for someone at one of the teams. Yeah. But when I said Age of Apocalypse, that reminds me we have to do more Nate Gray.
Yes.
New year.
Yes, we only covered the first 3 or 4 issues of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely go back to that.
Yeah, we did the first 4 because starting in 5, he comes to 616.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's go back to cover that one. I'd like to do that.
All right, should we get to the last one?
Yeah, number 22.
Yeah. From July 1993, The Mask Behind the Facade. Think about that, kids. And Andy Kubert's back.
Yes.
All right, so what do we have here? Exactly where we left off.
Great opening page with Gambit, Quanon, and Psylocke squaring off against the Silver Samurai.
Everybody with glowing weapons in their hand. Those 3.
Yeah. They're ready to go. And then we get a great splash panel of conflict as they leap into battle. Both Psylocke and Revanche kind of almost looking identical as they leap at the attack at the Silver Samurai. So cool.
And I always love panels like this with like Gambit just like, like somersaulting over people and stuff, and
throwing his cards and things. Yeah, it's so good. I love this art.
Did Gambit start the trend of trench coats in the 90s?
I don't know if he started it, but he definitely made it more popular. That's for sure.
I was gonna say he's one of the most famous examples of that.
Yeah, definitely. Because even after they went to those blue and gold uniforms for a while, which he adopted as well, he still went back to this and put that trench coat back on.
Which, trench coats have lots of pockets. I mean, if your power is charging stuff up to throw, you want
that's true.
Be carrying a lot of stuff because I had a trench coat in the late 90s. Lilith called me emo the other day, so shut up.
I had one too.
Hey man, you and your friends go to the movies. You know how many snacks and drinks you get.
That's right. You can fit one of those big giant bags of popcorn you used to be able to buy at the pharmacy in there.
Yeah, especially like if you go to a movie theater and like the supermarkets like right across the street.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But yeah,
you can get all kinds of stuff.
Lil said I used to be emo. Lil, and used to be a cheerleader. I still can't believe that. I'm like, I keep telling her, I'm like, I want pictures. I want proof.
Yes. I want to see that as
A
well.
cheerleader. You would imagine. But I mean, because I'm just, and she grew up in California. I'm like, oh my god, she was like a valley girl. You know, she was. Oh my god.
Like seriously. Yeah, I have to see those pictures someday, Lilith.
Yeah, please. For the patrons. Come on, love.
Someday.
I actually want more money for that.
That's understandable, yeah.
So, yes, the X-Men take down Silver Samurai.
Yes.
And just like with half their villains, yes, Shatter's helmet.
Well, just for good measure, you know.
But then Gambit finds, what's this scroll? Oh, it's Niorin's diary.
Yeah, hidden behind the painting of Quanin.
Wait, that's not suspicious.
Yeah. A secret compartment.
And then we got Shinobi meeting with all these Japanese crime bosses. Okay, Matsuo's not looking quite as similar to Shinobi, but it almost looks like Wolverine's son or something with that hair.
That's what I was going to say too. He looks like a younger Wolverine.
Yeah.
Lord Tetsuo and Lord Niorin.
Yep. Doing his Mandarin impression again.
Yeah. Yes.
Tetsuo
puts the boots to Shinobi on the next page because he starts talking trash to him.
Yeah, he's like, you have no honor. But then meanwhile, in Alaska, Cyclops' parents are in shock because, I sent my son into the future. But then he came back to an old man. And again, we're at the point where he thinks Strife is his son, not
yes.
No.
Yeah, this is very early days in that whole mystery. Yeah, they hadn't gone. This is before the.
Is it Executioner song?
Executioner song.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. That may have happened the year after this or something.
Yeah, because Strife tries to kill Xavier, and they're all like, "Oh, Cyclops' son tried to kill him," and
yeah.
I think that's when they reveal, it's it.
Yeah.
That no, Strife is the clone and Cable is the original.
Yeah. Yeah, so he has a heart-to-heart with his grandparents, talking about this stuff. But then there's a knock at the door. And a mysterious figure named Mike is there to request some help. He had a tree that fell down on one of his sheds, and his chainsaw isn't working, so he's requesting some help. And guess who volunteers to help him but the visiting grandson, Scott.
And Mike has looks like a faded something on his forehead, almost a diamond.
Yes.
Hey, Scott, this is our neighbor, Mike Sinister.
Poor Scott. He can't escape that guy no matter where he goes. All the way up to Anchorage, Alaska, he can't even get away from Mister Sinister.
Exactly. But then, meanwhile, back in Japan.
Yeah.
So basically, Betsy wants to leave, and Quinan's like, no, the answers lie here, both in this mansion, written on this scroll, and in your mind, as she stabs with the Sai katana.
Yeah, and here's another great sound effect. She-yacked. Love that.
Well, she makes the sword and goes, fashak.
Fashak. Yeah. And through the side blade, we see a glimpse into her mind.
I mean, comic sounds are cool, but I was like, if you're creating this out of pure mental energy, would it make a sound?
Well, that's a good point, yeah.
I mean, and if you make it out of like from your mind, couldn't make whatever noise you want. Just be like, F you up.
Yeah. Could be something from like a video game, like Street Fighter. Tiger, tiger.
So yeah, we see. Well, I guess from the scroll, Quinan, she hadn't returned. She was on an assignment in Osaka. That's when she ran into Betsy. That right after she came through the siege perilous.
Yeah, she was unconscious. She was really badly injured.
Yep.
And when she touched her, their minds kind of fused together in a telepathic maelstrom, basically.
Basically, well, the one who looked like Betsy got locked up. Yeah, Quinan ran off, but yes, I love like the hand in everybody in last week's episode where they're just like, oh, you made her Asian. Oh yeah, we made her Asian. Yeah. Yeah, pay us lots of money. That was hard to do. Yeah, we turned her Asian.
Right.
Yeah.
And for a while, it was Mojo and Spiral that was behind it. They've tap danced around what really happened to her quite a few times. Yeah. Yeah, she says, Neorin found me and took me in, and little by little helped Betsy Braddock regain her memory. Also, he could regain the services of Quinan, a woman who was not only his prime assassin, but his lover as well. And Quinan looks like she's getting ready to puke at this revelation.
So yeah, these two aren't the only ones giving the side blade. You know what I'm saying? And Beast is just like, oh, there's so many unanswered questions.
It's so complicated.
Gambit, like, how come British Betsy is reading Japanese handwriting, and how'd she learn to fight like a ninja?
She says, the only question we need to address, Gambit, is why she chose to walk among you impersonating me. And the answer is quite evident. The woman you know as Psylocke is still in the employ of the Hand, and as soon as she is ordered, she will betray the X-Men.
Yep. I don't know, it seems like it sounds like she's protesting too much. No, it's gonna happen, I swear.
I promise.
That's right, don't trust her. Trail's gonna come. Then meanwhile, the big crime boss meeting has broken up in Tokyo.
Yes, and we see Shinobi and Matsuo not looking quite as identical as before, but still looking similar.
Oh.
And they are greeted with a visit from the Games Master.
Oh yeah, and his little holographic Zoom call there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is back when the upstarts were a thing.
But yes, he's arbitrating their ongoing competition. Shinobi, when you and the others asked me to arbitrate your ongoing competition, you never did you say I couldn't respect the carefully played games of others as well. So, well, at least here we're honoring a time-honored X-Men tradition of plots and plots and plots.
Yes. Yep. Lots of shell games of plots going on here.
So, wait, who's... Oh, is this... Yeah, Neori saying, give me the honor of choosing the time and place of the kill, as we see both Psylocks going at it. The true nature of this lump of clay I've sculpted into a twisted, fragile, killing flower will blossom to surprise and delight you all, most especially Quanin and Elizabeth Braddock.
Yeah. Yeah, these two are going at it. She goes, I want my name back and I want my life back. And Quanin says, mine is not yours to take. I am not who you say I am, as you are not who you claim.
Yeah, because Beast and Gambit have to separate them as Noyorn comes in and but he basically says, now to your ongoing little debate, isn't the answer as obvious as it is simple? You are both who you claim to be. You are both Quanin and both Elizabeth Braddock. The essential question is, can either of you ever truly become whole again? And more, do you desire to?
You desire to.
So yes, thanks to the mind meld, yes, they both have pieces of each other. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot more difficult and a lot more complicated than they thought to extrapolate their full self from each other.
And then for the third month in a row, we get a cliffhanger of
yes.
Scott finds out Mike is Mister Sinister. So
yeah, he sees that tree that's fallen down, and then he sees Mister Sinister right after it. I love that last picture of Sinister with the wind blowing his cloak through. It's so good.
I'm afraid we speak in metaphor, for the only tree Mr. Milbury has ever had any real interest in is your family tree.
Would you prefer to join me, or does the Summers family line end here and now?
I don't know about the Summers family line, but our review ends here. That's right, but again, we can get back to more of this, and yeah,
we can pick up where we left off here at some point in the future.
Yeah, trust me, kids. Justin won't let us go too long without doing more Psylocke. So.
No, definitely not. Yeah, you can always count on hearing a bit of Psylocke and Namor on this show in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah, on a fairly regular basis.
Psylocke and yes, you know who.
My favorite biscuit. That's right.
All right. So yeah, thoughts on this issue or this thing as a whole?
As a whole, I really loved it. I love the fact that we did get some kind of deep dive into the origin of Quanin and how this whole thing started in the first place. But at the same time, at that same token, we did also get more questions.
Yeah.
Like who trained Bessie? And how did Mojo and Spiral fit into all this? You know, what's going on with the Games Master and Shinobi and Matsuo, and what does Mister Sinister want? So, yeah, there's lots of unanswered questions and mysteries going on here, which is great. Keeps the story moving right along.
I mean, at least Fabian gave a reason why it's we supposedly turned her Asian rather than just we randomly just changed her to an Asian woman.
Right. Yeah. Having the mind switch thing was brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah,
what did you think? What did you think of these?
That was good, but damn Siege Perilous, the gift that keeps on giving, you know?
I know. Yeah. Yikes.
Oh, we gotta cover a bunch of that stuff when they dive in there, and
yeah, that whole thing with the adversary, that storyline, I love that.
Yeah. We could do the first appearance of Gambit. Yeah.
Yeah, and when Storm gets turned into a child for a while, when she's in New Orleans.
Oh, Savage Land Rogue.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah. Yes, that's a good one.
Rogue and Carol just duking it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Grudge match.
As drawn by Jim Lee.
Jim Lee. Yeah. That's a prime Jim Lee in those issues. Yeah, we've got to cover that next year, that Jim Lee X-Men stuff.
And that buff 80-year-old Magneto.
Yeah. I know. Putting the moves on Rogue. Yeah. Oh, man.
But I mean, he's built like Schwarzenegger. I'm like, he's 80 years old.
Yeah, right.
Lil says it's magnetism, just keeps you healthy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Keeps all the iron in the blood moving.
His blood was moving. Southernly, if you will. All right, Justin. Anything else?
No, I think we covered about all that we needed to in this.
Yes, I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
myself for one night. All right. But like I said, next episode, we should be joined by, yes, the High Priest of Khonshu, Ray himself, as we cover the
Yeah.
first 3 issues of Silver Sable and the Wild Pack
Looking forward to that.
with its shiny foil embossed cover.
Yeah. 90s in full effect, folks.
Yeah.
Here on Marvel Tales.
Look at that. You got that shiny special cover, and it was still only $2.
That's right.
It was like cardstock cover.
Yeah.
It was only $2.
Is it embossed too? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you can feel it. Yeah, you can feel it.
Oh.
Even the corner box was shiny.
Yeah. And the logo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll have fun talking about that with Ray next episode, and then the episode after that, we'll be talking more Silver Sable and the Wild Pack, Silver Sable and the Wild Pack 4 and 5, an Infinity War crossover
With Dr. Doom
and his double ganger. Yes.
Yes. Very exciting.
So yes, like I said, and again, it's September, so we'll be getting double your Marvel Tales. So yes, that'll all be next week, and then the week after that, you'll get first episode will be the original West Coast Avengers miniseries, and then we'll get to later in the week West Coast Avengers 1 and 2 and Vision and the Scarlet Witch number 2, because it is a crossover. So
That's right.
and then yes, you only get one Marvel Tales the last week of the month, but that will be the Mighty Thor 433 through 436.
Yeah, which was Phil's pick.
Yes, Eric Masterson starred as Thor. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So yes. So send us all your thoughts on all of that, and stay tuned. October is going to be rocking too. We got some some spooky Halloween themed episodes coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some spooky, scary stuff for the Fright Month. I'm very excited about that.
Yep. All right. So so send us all your thoughts. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, the Patreon, where Marvel fans, you can now get all of Loth Hellfire's drunken rants on everything Heroes Reborn. All 4 episodes are up now. So yes, you don't want to miss that.
Yes, and it is a surprise to find out at the end of all of that which one was her least favorite out of those 4.
That's right. The one we thought it was going to be, it was not.
Yes, it was definitely a surprise. So I urge all of you to join me in the Patreon Elite, and you can hear for yourself.
Exactly. So yes, find everything, all of that in one place. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right, Justin, people can find you usually once a week on Marvel Tales, but September they'll be getting extra, almost double the Marvel Tales.
That's right.
You can hear him with me once a month on We Are the Night, the Batman podcast. Although he'll be there every episode in September. And now you can catch me, Justin, and Mr. Tyler Patrick on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast. So,
yes, twice a month.
Yes, we're going chronologically from the John Byrne's Man of Steel onwards. So,
love it.
If you want to learn all about 80s and 90s Superman, we'll teach you. All right, but believe it or not, this man does even more podcasting than that. So. Justin, where else can people find you?
Besides those great shows, you can also find my voice on Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, where me and my pal Russell talk about everything to do with Marvel's Hulk and She-Hulk twice a month. And we also do once a month live reviews of the wonderful new series by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein, the Incredible Hulk series. It's wonderful. So please check it out if you haven't yet. We also have a Patreon, so do check that out as well if you're so inclined. And Russell and I are joined by our friends Ray and Sparky on Predator and Prey, the Yocha podcast, where we talk about everything to do with Fox's Predator in comic books, action figures, movies, and more. And last but not least, my solo project, The Lost Library of Legends, is almost ready. I'm not going to say that it's coming out next week, because every time I do that, I seem to jinx myself, and I get either sick, or I get kidney stones, or the file gets deleted or corrupted, or something awful happens. So I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to say The Lost Library of Legends is coming soon.
Scream it!
There's a writer's strike. There's a writer's strike in Justin's house.
That's right. Forces are conspiring against me, I feel, but it's almost
downtown.
It's almost done, I promise. There's people who've been waiting for this for a year and a half, and hopefully they'll be pleased once it's finally available.
Too many distractions in his life, kids.
That's right. Chasing too many biscuits.
Don't say that. You have a wonderful boyfriend, unlike
That's true.
Unlike that biscuit collector, Lilith Hellfire.
I can still chase biscuits, though.
I mean, oh my god, I don't think Lilith Hellfire has handled more biscuits than Pillsbury. You know I love you, Lilith.
We love you, Lilith.
Don't kill me. All right. Thank you for joining us again. Next 2 episodes that'll both be coming next week. Silver Sable and the Wild Pack. So start your week out with Ray.
That's right.
Start your week with that
sausage.
That dingo hunter himself, right? That drop bear enthusiast himself, Ray. That'll be fun. You and Ray, that'll be fun because it's like we're all around the same age. Where it's like,
and we all read this when it came out.
I have a lot of like the same comic knowledge.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for the Old Man's Club, kid. Vintage.
Middle-aged mountain.